Catherine Story. Welcome to my channel, House of Story. I like to show a lot of different views of who I am and the lifestyle of somebody that's an independent fashion designer, and the way I've created my life exactly the way I want it. So there are many different aspects to my channel. In this particular series, I will be speaking more directly to young creatives, old creatives, middle-aged creatives, whoever you are, and creating an independent way of doing your business, your fashion business. I have been an indie fashion designer for 25 plus years. I've ran my own boutiques. I've done wholesale. I've done trade shows all over the world, fashion shows all over the world, pop-ups, trunk shows, pretty much everything you can think of, I have done in some form. Mostly plotting out the independent way. I haven't followed rules. I didn't go to school, and I am self-taught. So this may not be for everyone. If you are looking to find a career with a big label brand like Louis Vuitton, you may find some things of interest here, but specifically this is for the artist or the designer that wants to do things in their own way and has the confidence and the creative insight to be connected to their life path. And maybe it's the indie way, the road less traveled. If that is you, then you have found the right channel. I just wrote an ebook called The Artistic Rebel, 5 Ways to Elevate Your Indie Fashion Label. And this is an overview of that ebook. The first chapter is finding your rebel voice. For many of us, this is an evolving thing. Your voice will change and shift as you grow, as you experience new things, as you see different things. But it's really important to know your voice and be connected with your voice in some way and be able to have the confidence to express that. Me, I started by designing for myself, and from that point of view, it was wonderful because I was my own muse. I didn't need to have another person to help me. And I also was lucky enough to get the feedback from people, and it actually gave me the confidence to start my own brand because many people would comment that they wanted what I was wearing. If that is not you, there are so many ways of expressing yourself and finding people to wear and support you. So the rebel within you is dying to express itself, right? So how do you do that? Well, if you're like me, you have many ideas. Find the one with the most passion in it, and take that all the way through. If you're not designing for yourself, it's not a problem, but you do have a muse of some sort. You're designing for something. Find that, express that voice. Start playing with fabric. Use your imagination. If you can draw. There are many ways to start cultivating your voice. You can get ideas from others. You can collaborate and talk with other designers about what you're excited about. Find the vision that is yours and why it is different than others and why are clients going to want your designs. As you start to build your voice and the confidence in your voice, it will start creating on itself, and maybe you'll have a collection put together. Maybe you'll start putting pieces of a collection together. The way to start by elevating wherever you are is to build upon it, to give it energy, to feed it, to cultivate it so that it manifests into something in physicality. If you do not have the technical skills, there are many different ways to go, and I do go into detail in one of my other books, which I will cover here as well, Mostly, you have to start somewhere. So start with designing one piece of clothing. If you don't sew, I mean, for me, I sewed. I taught myself how to sew. So it was really easy for me to go in and rework something and see if I can turn it into what I wanted. It was really easy for me to make mistakes. Maybe that's not you. Maybe you're gonna go to school and take a class, which is wonderful because you'll get technical skills that took me years to figure out. And maybe you're gonna do a project in school that really excites your passion. Do that. Maybe you take an online class with an experienced sewer, if you want to learn how to sew in that way. You need to follow the breadcrumbs to your unique path. I had my unique path, and I hope that my experiences can help you. So I'm sharing what I did. I got a sewing machine, started sewing specifically for myself, and then started getting clients because of that, because people saw me in places. If you already feel like you have your aesthetic, that's wonderful. Congratulations. You need to have some technical skills and knowledge. And it's really important, and I go into detail, that you can make a lot of financial mistakes by skipping over some steps. And believe me, it's easy to have happened even as a seasoned designer. It happened to me last month. So there is a lot of information that you need to know. At least you don't need to do everything, although I highly recommend that you really start to look at what it takes to actually do something. Do you know how to make a pattern? How I started making patterns, I found a dress I liked, I cut up the seams, opened it up, and made a new pattern and added and took away where I wanted to see if I could make a dress. That is a way. That's not the only way. You could take your idea, you could take a sketched drawing to a pattern maker and get a pattern made, and it will cost you a lot of money, and you could get taken advantage of if you don't have the wisdom and the knowledge to know the right questions to ask and to make sure that you find the right pattern maker. There are so many little mistakes you can make that cost you money. My advice as an indie fashion designer is try to do as much as you can yourself, because then you'll know your strengths and your weaknesses. You are not going to be good at everything, and that's fine. But if you know the basics of what it takes to make a pattern, if you've tried it and you know, wait a minute, it takes these 3 steps or these 100 steps, whatever it is for you, then you will have an experience that you can speak the same language with the pattern maker. You have to learn from reading, from watching YouTube documentaries on designers. Everything, just gobble up everything you can about the technical things, finishing things properly, cutting things on the bias, what fabrics work, what fabrics don't. Those are like little foundations, but guess what? You're an indie designer, you're a rebel. You're not gonna follow everything rule by rule. They're gonna say, no, you can't use that fabric, and you're gonna say, I'm gonna try. Because that's how new innovative designs and fashions come. So there you go, artistic rebel, the artistic rebel in us all. That's just a few of the highlights from the chapters in my book. Very loosely spoken here, and I hope that you receive some value from it. I would love to know if you have any questions or any feedback, and I'm going to be continuing these episodes once a week over the next, until we're done, which may be never. But what I find is, as I've written these books, it inspires me to write more books, because there's so much more to speak on. There's so much more information. So as you are my mirror, as we are all each other's mirror, I would love your feedback, your comments, and your suggestions. And your comments inspire me to be a better person to communicate with. It also helps me know what more I can help you with. And I'm really grateful for you and that you're on this journey with me. And I hope that I gave some value today. So I'll see you next week for episode 2. And then I'll be finishing the book, Artistic Rebel. Ciao.